Shane Gisbergen has completed his final NASCAR Xfinity Series race of 2024 and final full-time Xfinity Series race and picks up a 12th place finish at Phoenix. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel and welcome back to our video. As I just said a second ago, Shane Gisbergen has completed what could be his final full-time NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Phoenix Raceway and finishes in 12th position. Shane would qualify around 19th position inside of the top 20, but would move up a couple rows early in the race because I believe Sammy Smith and AJ Allmendinger would both have to go to the rear of the field. That moved up to row 7 or number 8, moving him up to 15th position on the start. Now, Shane had a really solid start early in the race, but unfortunately did fade back as the run progressed and went on. It seemed like the car was struggling on the longer run. Stayed inside the top 20 for a little bit, but started losing a ton of track position and ground. He would fall all the way back from around 15th position at the start to around 24th or 25th early in the run. And he could not maintain the track position and nearly ended up going a lap down. He then continued falling back a little bit by the end of stage number 1. I believe it was around 23rd to 24th position. He would come off the corner in stage number 1 with Riley Herbst winning and holding off Chandler Smith. He would come off the corner and finish in 24th position. Then at stage number 2, they actually came down pit road, made some adjustments on that car, made some chassis adjustments, and then Shane's car started forming a little bit better in stage number 2. He started picking up a ton of ground a little bit and would maintain around 25th, 26th. Actually, unfortunately, he had a speeding penalty, had to start at the tail end of the field, but continued to stay on the lead lap. There would be a couple cautions at this particular moment in point that would change the game a little bit, I believe, in stage number 2 as he continued to try to move his way to the front. There then would be another caution late in stage number 2, and there was an alternate strategy that Shane and a couple other cars did. He actually came down pit road to put on fresh tires. Same with AJ Allmendinger. I believe a couple guys like, I think Connor Zilch might have been one of them, not entirely sure. And Brandon Jones too, I believe, came down pit road. And Shane also came down pit road. He restarted around 23rd or 24th position. But at stage number 3, that strategy call would really start paying off. It seemed like the fresh tires were working extremely well in stage number 3, and he started moving his way up to the front of the field, and he started charging his way up. A few laps into stage number 3, he was charging himself up inside the top 20, and then he got himself up and eventually to 15th. And then 14th, and then 13th, and then 12th, and continued to pass guys, and nearly got past guys like Eric Almirola, won multiple races this year, got by Chandler Smith. By about 60 laps to go in the race before the green flag pit stops had started, SVG would be inside of the top 10 around 9th position and was actually catching his teammate AJ Allmendinger slowly but surely as his tires were going away, that being AJ's, while he was starting to charge his way up to the front. There would then be green flag pit stops with around 50 to 55 laps to go, and they actually had a really solid pit stop with a 15.2 second stop, and Shane would come off pit road, and now after pretty much almost everything has cycled except Justin Allgaier coming down pit road, he would be up inside the top 10, luckily on the lead lap. But then everything would change with 46 laps to go when Anthony Alfredo would have a flat tire going into turn number 1 and hit the outside wall really, really hard, bringing out the caution. There'd be a little strategy as he would stay out, Shane would, and be restarting around 7th or 8th position on this next restart. And then unfortunately for Shane, he started fading back quite a bit and dropped from about 8th or 9th position and fell back to around 12th or 13th. But luckily, the car was not too bad and he maintained himself on the lead lap. Got passed by Hill, Allgaier, all those guys on the fresh tires and was charging his way up back through the field. And then with around 4 laps to go, another caution would end up coming out for Leland Honeyman, who faded back quite a bit, got tumped by Garrett Smithley, I believe it was, going into turn number 1 or turn number 3, and got turned going into the corner and was wrecked out of the race. And then we got to the next restart, and he would have a pretty good restart, almost move up back inside the top 10. And then there'd be another caution for Parker Retzlaff. This would mean Shane would restart back in 11th position. And going into the final restart of the race, Shane had an okay restart but lost a little bit of ground. And Shane would continue to drop back slightly but started charging his way back up. He almost got back up in the top 10. As coming to the white flag, Justin Allgaier had the lead. Riley Herbst in second, and Shane was around 11th or 12th position. Shane would try everything he could to get back up to the front, but it wouldn't matter. And unfortunately for him, he didn't get the win but put up a solid run as Riley Herbst would come off the corner and pick up his second win of the year. Justin Allgaier would pick up the championship for the NASCAR Xfinity Series for the first time after being in the series for nearly a decade and a half. And Shane Gisbergen, in his final full-time start, finishes in 12th position. A really solid night for Shane Van Gisbergen. Started and struggled early in the event, but they made some adjustments. They made a really good strategy call for once, and it results in getting a top 15 finish, which isn't as good as how he did in the spring, where he didn't finish 6th. But objectively, when you look at the pace and speed he had compared to last time we were here, he had more speed in this race than the last time he ran. And I think Shane put together a really solid performance. And you think about 2024 for Shane, he had a really solid year this year, going through the whole entire season. This year, he picked up 3 victories, those coming at Portland, the Chicago Street Course, and Sonoma, all road courses. He had 7 top 5s, 10 top 10s, 3 poles, led 100 laps exactly this year, and had a 16.5 average finish. For someone coming into this year that had very little oval experience, he generally ran really good. He only had like 5 or 6 races this year, or 6 or 7, where he finished outside of the top 20. He was very consistent throughout the year, and I think he improved throughout a lot of 2024 and made the playoffs. Who would have thought that he would have gotten the top 5 at Indianapolis? He finished 4th in that race. You all remember how impressive that was when we had a really good battle between Cole Custer, Riley Herbst, and Eric Almirola. Then he had that really strong run at Kansas where he finished in the top 10, finished in the top 10 at Darlington, one of the toughest tracks there, and he was running really good at Martinsville last week before unfortunately getting involved in a wreck, I believe, with Ryan Sieg, and overall just continues to impress me with everything he is able to accomplish. And I gotta say, this year he put together a very solid year. And he's had some really strong runs. I go back to Atlanta too, where he finished in 3rd position in only his 2nd ever Xfinity start and finished in 11th at Daytona in his first start. There are things he definitely has to improve on. Qualifying is one of those things. I look at the average start for this year. It was a 17.4 average finish. It did get helped by the fact that he did get those 3 poles, but a lot of the year he qualified outside the top 20. That's the only area I really think he has to improve on, because he's been able to make good adjustments on his car, and just this year, I think, put together a really strong 2024 campaign. And to nearly get a top 10 in what could be his final full-time start at a track that is very difficult to pass, I think he did a really, really good job tonight. Yes, he had to play a little bit of strategy to get up there and contend, but going into next year for 2025, we don't even know if we'll be back in Xfinity at all next year. Maybe JRM will field a 5th car going into next year and running part-time, considering Connor Zilic will be full-time with the JRM group next year, and Trackhouse is working with them. I guess that could be a potential possibility. We'll just have to wait and see. But obviously now for 2025, he's focusing on Cup. Going to be running full-time at Trackhouse. Going to, of course, have Ross Chastain and Daniel Suarez as teammates. We'll be competing against a lot of great drivers full-time. Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, all those guys. William Byron has got a shot to win the championship tomorrow. Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, William Byron, Alex Bowman, Tyler Reddick, even though 2011's future is a little bit in question, same with front rows. But I think that, and maybe in the future, Cher wants to come back. But I got to say, for Shane Van Gisbergen this year, I was very impressed with what he was able to accomplish. And to do it only in 1 year, get double-digit top 10s in your first season, I don't think anybody really expected that. And there were times where he struggled this year, but they improved. They did good as the year progressed and went on, and I'm very proud of what Shane was able to accomplish in 2024. Congratulations, Shane, on a solid year. I think a lot of people did not expect him to make the playoffs this year, but I definitely thought he would make it. I thought he'd win a few races. I said he'd probably get 2 to 3 wins this year. I predicted that, and I got that right on the dot, so that's really cool. I think going into next year, Shane, when he moves up the Cup full-time with Trackhouse, I think he will get a couple wins next year. I think with how strong he's been on road courses in Cup, I think he will be a threat. Congratulations, Shane, on a really solid year, leading a triple-digit laps. Pretty impressive to see that, and it's pretty cool to see Shane have a really solid year. Congratulations, Shane, on a really solid year, and also I want to congratulate Justin Allgaier and win the championship as well. Really cool to see a Chevrolet get it done for them. So, that is going to be it for tonight's Shane Van Gisbergen episode, the final one of this year. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, and if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. With description below that, and comment below your thoughts below on today's episode. What are your thoughts about Shane Van Gisbergen's performance? Let me know it in the comments below. Tomorrow on the channel, we are going to have the starting lineup for the NASCAR Cup Series Championship race at Phoenix. We're also, of course, going to have the championship reactions. We're going to have 2 news videos on Monday because there's a lot of news content that's come out over the course of the last couple days. We'll talk about the State of Sport address, potential new manufacturers, 2011 front row's future a little bit, and we're also going to have some other great content dropping that you're going to see over the week. We'll talk about people like Carl Edwards, Kurt Busch, Bubba Wallace, you name it, this week too. And we're also going to have ranking of all the races this week. We're going to have a silly season update dropping, and we'll we'll also have some other great content dropping as well this week. Got a lot of great stuff dropping this weekend for you guys that I cannot wait for you guys to check out as we run the final race of 2024. Really looking forward to it. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.